Okay, so if you're out there and you're joining me, give me a shout, let me know. If you're catching this on a replay, drop me a hashtag replay. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm trying this through the AirPod to eliminate some noise. So if someone could just give me an idea, let me know if you can hear me. I would appreciate it. Beyond my regular volume, just let me know if that's coming through nice and loud and clear. No, that would be you. Yeah, let me know. You can hear me? Okay, beautiful. Okay. Like I said, I was trying to eliminate some of the congestion. I couldn't be in my back corner room, so I'm doing this right here out in the open. But tonight, so I plan to do this tomorrow night during live Q&A night, but I realized trying to condense everything that I've learned this weekend into 1 hour was going to be absolutely bananas on top of live Q&A, because last time live Q&A was so much fun and so popular. We had questions and card pulls and all this good stuff going on. So I don't want to detract from that tomorrow, but I also want to tell you guys what I've learned, being as I have a lot of you that I am coaching and hanging out with in the DMs and working with and talking to, and even you guys out there that are like me that kind of lurk around, but you are reading. I thank you, and I know you're there. So I wanted to share with you what I did this weekend, how it's going to serve you even more, and where I'm coming from. So over the weekend, I did what is called UPW. So it is Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within. It is a 4-day personal development immersion course. So we spend 4 days talking like about 16 hours of training a day, going over everything from limiting beliefs and habits and vitality and routine and all of these things that are going to take it to the max. So I basically, just to give you an idea, like if you look at my notebook here, this was day 1, right? This is how many pages of notes I literally filled up. Like, do you see this? Like, this is the amount of information in here. I've managed to condense it to 1 page, so I'm going to go down it as best as I can. So as I'm going through, if you're out there and you're joining me, let me know. If you have questions, thoughts, things come up, please drop it in the comments. If you need some time to digest this, like I said, definitely go ahead and do that. And then join me tomorrow night for live Q&A night. The last Wednesday of every month, I do live Q&A night where you can literally ask me anything. There is no holds. There is nothing I won't answer. I will literally answer anything. So the first thing on my list, and I'm going to jump around, so these are in no particular order whatsoever. The first one here, it's the 3 steps to mastering anything. So the idea was you can be good at anything, but to get great at something, you have to fully do 3 things. So cognitively understand, emotionally master, and then get the physical body behind you. So using those 3 things is huge, okay? So cognitive understanding, that is, understanding with your mind. You've read it, you've studied it, you've researched it, and that is step 1, okay? So then you understand it, but you don't really know it until you actually go out and try it, you put it into action, and you put it out there. So kind of step 2 is now to get your emotional brain on board. It's telling yourself, yes, I can do this. Yes, I'm worthy to receive the outcome. Yes, I know what I'm doing. And then go out there and physically do it. So, if it's trying to start a morning routine because everybody tells you how amazing it is, if you're going to go start your own business, whatever you've got going on, but it's physically putting what you've learned into action. Because there's many of us, myself included, that buy courses after courses, you buy books after books, you research, but you never actually go and apply what you've done. You never integrate it. And what's the point of continually learning things if you're not actually growing, you're not using it, you're not experiencing it, you're not feeling it? It doesn't make sense. So that was a nice kick in the ass for me because, like I said, I have a tendency to over-research and over-analyze and never do anything about it. So let me put it to you that way. The next here is if you don't measure it, you can't manage it. And that was a big one for me, which is why I'm now sitting here. If you could actually see my computer. It was kind of hard. There's nowhere else for me to go. So here we go. So the next one is don't measure it. So if you don't measure it, you can't manage it. So is it open now? Okay, we're going to migrate. So stay with me, okay? We are migrating. I'm going to unplug myself here. We're going to migrate. We're migrating. Now I guess the back room is open. So we're migrating. Bookmarks. We're migrating. I'm going to try not to drop you guys, so stay with me. Stay with me. beverage. Sorry, it was way too close. We're migrating. Thank you for the heads up. Migrating. Oh, look at the little table. That's cute. Okay, I'm just gonna shut the door, so stay there. Wonderful. Okay. I almost dropped that. Okay, so can you guys still hear me? You can still see me. Still over good there. Okay. All right. So we're good. All right. So back to what I was saying. Okay, so yeah, if you don't measure it, you can't manage it. So this is where I struggle, because this whole idea of measuring things and putting things, that's okay. That's something I don't always do. All good, much better. Okay, beautiful. This is gonna pause for 2 seconds. Hang on. Okay, I just wanted to turn my auto screen off because I'm kind of so far away it thinks I'm not really here. So I don't want the screen going black on you guys so you can see me. Okay, so yeah, so stay with me. Okay, so the idea of measuring things, so it's setting your goals. It's saying, like, even as simple as like on a scale from 1 to 10, how do you feel about something? Where are you at this project now, and where do you want to be in the future? You know, if you're deciding you want to lift a certain amount of weight, run a certain amount of miles, make a certain amount of money, if you don't actually write these things down, you don't set some kind of chart, you don't create some kind of goals, then how do you know if you're truly getting better, if you're truly growing? And like I said, that's something that I'm not very good at. I kind of just run with things on the fly. So that is my big concentration right now, is I'm actually going to set tangible goals. I'm going to decide things I actually want to hit, milestones I want to create, whether that's weekly, monthly, yearly. And regardless if I hit them or not, at least now I'm going to know where I'm at. So literally what I'm doing is I'm sitting and creating my goals and my charts right now for the new year coming up. I did my vision board yesterday. We're getting ready to have that workshop in a couple weeks. And I've got this amazing chart that my coach gave me to help me, again, start setting these tangible results. Okay, so the next one, and again, these are in no particular order, I'm just all over here, is knowing your why. So I took a poll in my Facebook group a couple weeks ago, and I had asked them, you know, what do you want to work on? What do you want to see more of? What do you want me to come on here and do with you guys? And the biggest hit was pushing past limiting beliefs and patterns. So that means going past the things that are holding you back. It's growing through the things that make you feel stuck in the mud. And it's getting to a point where you've now passed them. And anytime you feel it creeping back, it's how do you get it to go forward, okay? So, and all of that starts with, and this is why you see me ask this all the time, is knowing your why. It's what do you truly want? And if you can't answer that, there's nowhere to grow to. There's nowhere to move to. You have to honestly sit there and ask yourself, what do you want? Okay? I mean, you can do it in a fun way with a journaling prompt and tell yourself, like, you know, if a genie popped out of a bottle right now and granted me unlimited wishes, what would I wish for? I mean, honestly, what do you want? Do you want a kick-ass body? Do you want an amazing business? Do you want to travel and do a world tour? Do you want to sing on stage with Dave Grohl? Like, what do you want in life? What are your goals? What are you feeling? What are your experiences? You have to have a why behind what you do, or you're not going to have any motivation. You're not going to have any momentum. You're going to have no goals to measure. You got to know your why. So I challenge all of you to sit there and honestly look at yourself and find out what your why is. And I had to sit, because when I started this business, you know, it was kind of one thing and it's morphed into the next. And I really had to sit and honestly look at myself and go, you know, why am I doing this? You know, what do I want out of it? You know, and I truly know that I want to serve others. I know that has been, for those of you that, you know, take it for what it's worth, that's what I've done in past lives. That's what I'm doing now. And I know my soul will continue to do. I like to help others. I've been volunteering since I was little. I mean, I was always the teacher in everything I did. And this is nothing different. I mean, this is why I do the yoga. I want others to get from where they are now, you know, whether it's feeling overwhelmed and stressed with themselves, their families, their businesses, whatever it is, to be able to get to that next state where, again, you can meet your goals. You have the energy, you've got the motivation, and you've got me there to kick you in the ass. So I know that's my why, and I will continue to teach and drive and set up programs and do these lives and as much as I can to keep pushing you. Okay, but you have to know. And then what I want you to avoid is really looking at the how, because that's where we usually get stuck. So you can say, I want to be a world traveler. I want to hit these 10 countries this year. Okay, well, there's COVID, so I can't go. That's your first strike. You just limited yourself. That's bullshit. Lots of countries are opening back up. By hopefully the middle of the summer, things are going to change. You do the right things. You wear your mask. You set yourself up. It can be done. Okay, well, I don't have enough money to do it. There you go. That's another one. Don't worry about it. Still set the goal, because if you truly want it, you're going to get resourceful enough to get it. And like I said, these are things that were all holding me back. And these are things that I became super conscious of in the last 4 days, where I've busted through a shitload of limiting beliefs. Like, let me tell you, like doing this kind of stuff where I was like, oh, I'm not pretty enough to be on live TV. Or, I don't know enough to be able to talk for all these things and be able to teach anybody any of this stuff. Like, I'm not qualified enough. I haven't taken my training. I haven't done it. Again, I'm here. So if you want to do something, you can make it happen. I mean, a year ago, I wanted to move to Florida, and there was no way in hell I could think of how I was going to do it. I was like, I had no money in my savings. I didn't have a place to live down here where they want first month, last month, and security. I had no, I was like, I didn't have a way to move my furniture. I didn't have a job. I didn't have these things. But all I could think in my brain was, I want out of Connecticut and I want to move to Florida. I want to move to Florida. I want to move to Florida. And guess what? I started job hunting and apartment hunting and things like that. But one thing after another fell right into place. I got offered a job. The realtor found me a place that was fully furnished. I didn't need any furniture. I could sell all my stuff. I moved, I moved down here with nothing. And I was paranoid I was going to have to buy furniture and all these things. Boom, there it is. When you just release that and set your goals, that's the difference. Okay, so again, start with your why. Start pulling that why out. Why do you really want something or someone or to do something? Why? Okay, I guess we'll pop right down to the next one. So this idea, and you've heard me say it before. So again, body, mind, soul, right? So that your body follows your mind. Okay, so the quality of your life is all determined by the quality of your emotions, of your mind, of your thoughts. Because what you think is more powerful than you actually getting yourself physically motivated to do something. Because again, if you tell yourself you can't do something, that you won't do something, you don't want to do something, somebody else tells you can't do something, most of the time we believe it. And beliefs are just this strong idea of certainty. It's that you know that that's what it is. Well, again, I'm here to call bullshit on that, because that's the stuff that holds us back. So the more that you believe you can do something, like running a mile, going to your first yoga class, running your first business program, selling your first product, as long as you tell yourself you can do it, again, your body's going to come behind and go, okay, how do we support you? How do we make this happen? Because you want it this bad, we're going to physically make it happen. And that's what it comes down to. It's like I said, it starts up here. It really starts with the emotion, because whatever you're feeling is what your brain registers and turns into a thought. Because most of us, unfortunately, are so programmed into our brain that we don't really notice the feeling. And that's something I'm working on even now within the Essence course that I'm taking. It's getting in touch with my intuitive side. It's getting in touch with my energy centers, with my gut, with my sacral authority, with being able to feel my feels as opposed to using my noggin all the freaking time. And again, I'm not telling you to just, my gut says I should jump off this bridge, let's do it. Like, obviously, use your common sense out there, please. But give your energy, give your body a chance to actually see how something feels. And it might seem really scary or unrealistic, maybe this want that you have, this why that you have, but your body might be like, fuck yeah, like this feels good and I'm excited and fired up and I'm energized, and your brain's like, this is not gonna happen. Start kicking your brain a little. Let the energies flow, because that's gonna transform the thoughts, and you're gonna go, maybe I can do this. I think I can have this. That's the transformation. And then, like I said, your body will follow. So that was something big. So I have to continually remind myself of that, because that's where I struggle. Like, you get up at 5 a.m. and I've got my kitten laying on me and he's all warm and toasty and he's purring, and I'm just like, oh, this is really nice. And I'm like, I don't really want to get out of bed and I don't want to move him. And I make these excuses and I'm like, Jason. So I totally subscribe to this. Having a clear outlook and my goal and scope makes me so much more confident and positive in my ability to achieve that goal. Yes, absolutely. 100%. And that leads me to my next thought bubble. Like literally all these things are in thought bubbles. Do you see that? So one thing that we did, and this is the stuff that it's funny because, so if you guys don't know a lot about me, way back when I took, God, I was almost 20 years of ballet. I did tap, I did jazz, modern, hip hop. Like I was a dancer. And then I went into the ballroom. I was a music major, so I was on stage. I played with college, with the jazz bands and concert bands, and you name it. I was not afraid to get in front of people and do things as long as like I had the routine and it was structured and all this stuff. And then what, I don't even know, I can't even tell you. I'm going to have to like really dig deep into my memory bank. But at some point that little switch flipped in my mind and I got super self-conscious. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I played well enough. I didn't think my body was as good as the other ones. Like, I wasn't built the same way. All of these things made me really self-conscious. So these last 4 days, let me tell you. So every morning we started with Kinergy, which is Julianne Hough from Dancing with the Stars. It's her company where they put up a new dance video every day. And I'm telling you, it's like balls to the wall max. Like she's fucking awesome. And I was like, I started feeling those motions and doing my thing again. And I was like, oh, I'm like, this is so good. Like it felt like it was back in my blood, So, and to be on a Zoom call, let me tell you how this UPW works. So we did it virtually because unfortunately with COVID, we can't be in an arena, elbow to elbow. There was 12,500 people on this 360-degree screen in Tony's studio where he is. So you were live on video, just like this, and everybody could see you. So he can see you. I mean, people in your Zoom room, like 300 of your closest friends can see you. They encourage you to not turn off your video for a reason. They want you to play full out. They want you to get involved, see everybody else's energy, and get excited. So needless to say, I was shaking my ass in front of 12,500 people on Zoom. And even though it didn't seem like it, but that's still like a big thing for me. I was like, oh my God. I posted some videos on here on freaking Instagram. So if you want to see it, it is out there. It exists. It is a thing. But the idea, so I digress. So what they wanted you to do at one point was create a power pose. So if you've seen like Wonder Woman or Superman, it's always hands on the hips, cape flowing behind you. So that's a really good power pose. Whatever stance makes you feel super confident. I mean, that's why they tell you, like when you write your affirmations, I am worthy of all that I want. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I can have anything that I desire. Like you write these affirmations. I'm a leader. I do these things. You're supposed to stand in front of your mirror, totally wound up, and actually say them because you're putting this power behind it. You're putting this oomph behind it. So literally we had to come up with this idea. And I'm going to have to tag him here, but I'm going to have to thank Noah for it because it was funny because I've had several nicknames throughout my life. But the one that came to mind that I could use as my alter ego was Power Pam. And that came from a very dear friend of mine, Noah, when we did a family constellation together. And that's what happened. I was a vessel. I was a channel to do energy work. So that was how I got dubbed Power Pam because that's what happened. I was a power vessel for the universe. So I use that. I've created that as my alter ego. And it's funny because I do tap into that because sometimes I'm honestly like either worried about coming on live or maybe I'm not done up or maybe I'm worried about people are going to look at me. And I got to step into this like, here's Pam, and then kind of like get out and be like, Power Pam. It's just this ability to be super confident and super strong. And that's what I put behind it. So that was something that was fun. So then what he wants you to do is basically walk around like you're this person all the time. So you can absorb that confidence. You can get yourself out there. And I was like, so you want me to walk around the grocery store like I'm fucking awesome? It's a very weird concept. You want me to walk into a room every time I go through a door frame and be like, I'm here? I'm not sure I'm there yet. But it was fun. So just food for thought there. Like I said, I'm just picking through the things that I thought were fun this weekend. And again, if you have questions, stuff comes up, drop it in the comments. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the next one. Okay, so this one was a big one. We spent an entire hour on the concept of stress. Stress being that word that everybody now uses to replace the fact that you can't do something or you're afraid to do something. So I guess stress is the new it word. But it was funny because, he talked a lot about fight or flight, which is something I bring up on here often. If you're not familiar with the concept, it's like back in the day when we used to live off the land and, there's saber-toothed tigers and all these things. And like one comes at you, that's fight or flight. Your body kicks into mode to protect you because it doesn't want you to like freeze and die. It wants you to be able to do what you got to do, either get out of the way or handle it. And unfortunately, that part of our brain, that little spot, gets triggered quite often by silly things nowadays because we don't have that stress anymore. We honestly don't really need that part of our brain per se. I mean, unless you're walking through a crosswalk and this car comes out of nowhere, then yeah, maybe you better throw it on. But for the most part, I mean, people get triggered when their boss says go to the coffee shop and go buy like 6 donuts, and you get there and you're like, he didn't tell me which one. What am I gonna do? Oh my god! And you go down this road and then you're freaking the fuck out. Like, do I buy these? Do I not buy these? Should I just leave or should? And it's like, holy crap! Slow it down. Jason said, before I forget, you mentioned 3 parts to mastering anything. Yes, I can repeat those. 3 steps to mastering anything. The first one is cognitive understanding. The second one is emotional mastery. And the third one is physical mastery. So just to kind of, where was that? So cognitive understanding, again, it's the idea that you have the intellectual understanding and knowing. It's just understanding that, it doesn't have to be as complex as we think it is. Emotional mastery, again, is that feeling, to really feel it, to link the emotional to, certain consequences. Like, if I don't do this, how am I going to feel? It's creating pain versus pleasure so that you actually want to do these things that you've learned about. And then number 3 is the physical mastery. Do it consistently. Again, get your body moving, own it. It's in you. You can do it. Make it your identity. Okay, so let me know if that helps. So again, cognitive understanding, emotional mastery, and physical mastery. So I was going over stress. And this is the other big one. And it's funny because my first meditation teacher, Emily Fletcher, she dubbed it the idea of the I'll be happy when syndrome. She wrote a book called Stress Less, Accomplish More, and it was a fabulous book. If you haven't read it, it's really good. But her idea was, it's I'll be happy when syndrome. Understood. Thank you. You're very welcome. Absolutely. And it's the idea that we all kind of put these, again, limits on ourselves, and we're like, when I have $1 million, I'll be super happy, or I'll be happy when I have that fancy car and I have that awesome girl. Or I'll be happy when I have those new pair of shoes because they're going to make me look kick-ass. Or, you go down this road and you're never going to get there because you're constantly putting the limit on it. I'll be happy when. What if you had it now? How would you feel if you had it now? What can you do to make it happen? And then just let it go. Let it be. Okay? So I was really kind of excited when he brought those up because I'm like, oh, I've been, I don't say like I've been teaching you guys on the right track, but I felt pretty good about this. I was like, okay, so if he's saying it, I'm not crazy. And just really the idea of being present and focusing on the now. Because it's when we go into the past and we start living there, that's when we get stuck. Because we see things that maybe we couldn't accomplish before. We see things that went really bad. And then we're like, I never want to do that again. I never want to feel that again. You're just limiting yourself. And if you look to the future, you're making up these ideas of things that haven't even happened, right? So you're going into this space of anxiety and stress and overwhelm for absolutely no reason. I mean, why make up 100 worst case scenarios when the actual what you need to even start having that stuff happen didn't even happen yet? It just doesn't make any sense. And that is something that, especially when I teach yoga and meditation, I try and keep you guys right in the present. I don't want you thinking about what happened yesterday. I don't want you moving forward. I want you to be here. I want you to feel it. I mean, you're constantly hearing me asking during class, just the idea of, how does it feel right now? What's in your body right now? Like you want to stay here because that's where the magic happens. Okay, that's that bubble. Coming across the page. Ooh, expectations and attachment. Okay, so this is the one that bites me in the ass every time. And this is the one that I purposely, consciously focus on because this is, again, exactly what's bit me in the ass all the time and what stops me from doing things. So when we expect people to be a certain way, behave a certain way, do a certain thing, show up when we need them, think like we do, and then when they don't, so we're attached to that outcome of the expectations, and then when they don't do what we expected or what you asked, they don't do it as well as you would have liked or what you thought was going to happen, when we start getting attached to those outcomes, that's where pain happens. That's where we get frustrated. That's where we think things can't be done, or we have to do it all ourselves. And that creates a huge emotional knot every single time. So if we could actually, again, learn to just be present, learn to accept whatever result it is, and then we can work from there rather than thinking that something failed, that is a huge one. So I was like, again, that was something that really hit home for me because that is something that I consciously work on all the time. Accountability. So a lot of, in this course, they talked about having a role model, having a mentor, knowing that if you want to do something and don't know how to do it, again, you can read a book and you can research, but it's finding someone to model. So this way you could see, I want to do this. How did they get there? How did they make it happen? And look at, 10 different people, because they might not all do it the same way, but there's always a common denominator. And when you can find that and then you start doing the things, you'll get there too. And then, like I said, if you can find a mentor, someone to coach you, to teach you, to walk through it with you, that's even better, because a lot of times, think about it. Most of the time, if you say you're going to do something for somebody else, you're going to be somewhere for somebody else, you are more apt to go to the ends of the earth for someone else than you would ever do for yourself. So just think about that. And I know that's me, because when I tell people I'm going to do something, or I'll be somewhere, or I'll help with something, my arm could be falling off and I'm bleeding to death, and I will be there because I feel guilty. I don't like letting people down. It bothers me. I have a hard time saying no. And that, again, is something that I work on constantly. So when we can put that energy into ourselves, have the same accountability, realize, if I don't do this for myself, how would I feel? If I don't do this for myself, what's going to happen? And treat ourselves like someone else. Again, create your alter ego. Notice the change that you create. So that was, again, another big takeaway for me. We're about a third of the way down the page, guys, and I'm trying to keep this under an hour. Stay with me. The next one, this is a big one, especially this time of year, because, gratitude and thankfulness always comes up around Thanksgiving. So the idea that fear and gratitude cannot coexist, okay? They can't exist in the same state. Your brain, it is scientifically proven that your brain cannot be in a state of fear and in a state of appreciation at the same time. If you don't believe me, look it up. But literally, yeah, your brain cannot be in a state of fear and in a state of appreciation at the same time. So when we're in a state of fear, that's when the anxiety, the fight or flight, the stress, the overwhelm, that's when we tend to tank our immune systems and we get sick, and we live in this space. It's really uncomfortable and it's not serving anybody. But if you can constantly come back to the gratitude, to the thankfulness, to the appreciative side of the brain, it's going to put you into a state of it just feels really good. It feels good to put yourself there and realize, I am so thankful for, XYZ, this person, that thing, this experience. I am super appreciative of, all the things coming my way. And when you're thinking like that, look at it. You just can't help but put a smile on your face. So anytime you start going down the fear road, what you want to do is stop yourself in your tracks. Literally break the pattern. Do something that is going to sidetrack you so far. If that means getting up and jumping out of your seat. If that means, like Joseph liked to say, shake your ass. Whatever it is for you, but break the pattern. And then go ahead and just sit for a second. Take a couple of deep breaths and come up with 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. And notice the amazing energy transformation. Notice the sense that happens. Notice the focus and clarity you now have because you're not spinning like a fucking top. Notice how this stuff happens. And again, this is the same stuff I teach my clients, the same stuff we do in yoga class, the same things that I bring up time after time after time is that gratitude list. Because again, if you start your day like that, it's going to keep your whole world, you're going to feel better, and oftentimes your day is going to flow better. Something triggers you during the day and you notice all of a sudden you're getting really tight and you're getting anxious and your breath's getting go back into that space of gratitude. Just feel that for a minute. I promise it's not going to let you down. Okay, so that was a big one. Again, fear and gratitude cannot exist at the same time. Okay, so the next one on my list was, yeah, and this kind of comes back to what I said earlier. I have belief is nothing more than a feeling of certainty about what something means. We have a lot of beliefs in our lives. You know, whether it's the like, I am something, or I can't do something, or, you know, so-and-so says like, I'll never be able to do this. We start believing these things. And again, that is what drags us back. That's what stops us from doing the things that we want to do. So it is completely super important to really look at your beliefs and ask yourself, is this maybe a limiting belief? Is what I'm saying, you know, that, you know, I believe I'm too short to be a rockette. Well, newsflash, that's a fact. You have to be a certain height. But, but the idea is, you know, that I'm not good enough. I'm telling myself I'm too short. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. But is that really true? Bullshit. 10 years ago when I was tap dancing, I was kick ass. I've got videos to prove it. I will find them for you. Jason said, I would love to share a quick practice that I do daily to cultivate gratitude. Yeah, go ahead and type it in the comments. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear it. 100%. Yeah, if it's something that's typable, otherwise when we get to the end, I'll bring you on the video. But if you can type it, go ahead and do that. Yeah, so limiting beliefs, again, it's taking whatever belief you have and it's asking yourself, is it really true? 9 times out of 10, it's bullshit, okay? When you feel it, when you experience that belief, how does it make you feel? If it makes you feel pain, it's bullshit. Okay? How would you feel if that belief didn't exist? And if you come up with all these happy thoughts and all these good reasons why it would be if this didn't exist, again, that tells me your belief is bullshit. All right? So, and then you ask yourself, what really is true? So now you can flip the script. You can create a belief system that, yes, you can truly believe in. You can be empowered. You can start to ingrain that just as much as you had those other ones. So there is that. Which do I want to jump into that right away? Yeah, let me jump into that. So on the long side of beliefs, on day 3, we did what was our transformation day. Okay. And what they did was this, it was called the Dickens process. So I don't know, I honestly didn't research it enough to know if it's an actual thing on its own, if it's something Tony Robbins made up. I don't know, but that's what it was called, the Dickens process. So what he had us do was come up with 3 of our biggest limiting beliefs, 3 things that are holding you back. So for me, I chose, you know, fear of failure, that I'm not going to be successful enough. I chose that I don't have enough money. And it's going to sound really silly, but like I said, I promised I'd play full in, so here we go. And my last belief, so if those of you that really know me deep down, I've always struggled with relationships with guys. So I notice it all comes down to this idea that, you know, no guy is ever going to love me, you know, that I feel like they're all going to cheat on me, and mostly it's because I don't feel like I'm pretty enough. So again, you can think I'm shallow and weird or whatever, but that is my belief, and that is something I keep telling myself, and I keep self-sabotaging behind, is fear of failure, not enough money, and the guy thing, okay? So those are my 3 beliefs, fear of failure being my number 1. And what they had us do at that point was answer a couple of questions. So for each belief, we had to answer, what does that belief cost you? Was it a relationship? Was it a friend? Was it an experience? Did you not go do something? Like what did it do to you what did it cost you? And then they asked if we would go ahead and answer the same question, but about the past. What does it cost you in the past? Like list all of the things that it cost you. And then they wanted us to look to the future and write down all of the things. If we continue down this path, if I stay in this mindset with these limiting beliefs, what is it going to cost me in the future? So I did. Wrote it all out. All 3 of them. All shit tons of pages. And then it was put your books down, stand up, shake it all out. And then it was close your eyes. Okay? And it was go ahead and sit there, take a few deep breaths, and go ahead and feel your limiting belief. So we did one at a time. We did the big one first, okay? So we felt that belief, and it was, you know, just feeling what is, you know, fear of failure. What does it feel like? So actually tapping into that. So we wanted to get out of our heads and into the emotional energy. So it was feeling all of the pain, the frustration, the anger, the sadness. But again, without labeling it, actually feel like I'm getting goosebumps now just saying this. But actually feeling it run through, okay? And then what we had to do at that point, they asked us to take that limiting belief, take those feelings and compound it by 5 years to the future, okay? And then feel how that would feel. So if you didn't change for the next 5 years, you were still sitting in these limiting beliefs, how would that feel? And again, you let all of that course through your body. And then he told us, you're not allowed to change. You have to stay this way. These are your beliefs. You have to keep them. Take all of that compounded feeling, energy, all these things, and go 10 years down the road. And 15 years down the road. And 20 years down the road. So by then, I am bawling my eyes out. I've got mascara running down my face. My body is tense. It hurts. I feel like I'm having a massive anxiety attack. Like, this is the shit that came up. So when you do this for reals, this is what it is. And then when he said do it for 30 years, it was crazy because that's when they unmuted all of our Zooms and you could hear everybody just go like bawling, screaming like, no. And, he was like, no, you believe this. This is what you want. You're going to stay right there. And you heard everybody like, no, I don't want this anymore. But that was the breaking point. You got to that point where you were like, I have to change. Like, this is so painful that if I stay this way, life is just going to fucking suck. Okay? And it was just an amazing feeling. So then he was like, all right, so you're allowed to change. So let's go ahead and break the beliefs. So you go from all this pain and all this pent-up energy and all these things, and then he tells you, okay, so we're going to break your limiting beliefs. And again, we're one at a time. And he goes, so first say your belief in a stupid voice, okay? Like you just, like your little kid, like, nah, 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 like, like, I'm a failure. I'm like, just be stupid about it, right? So we go ahead and do that. And then this is the fun part, and if you've all seen my photo, if you haven't, it's on my Instagram feed. He told us to go ahead and wind up and stick our finger up our nose. So I'm like, I'm going to stick my finger up my nose. And you saw like half people on Zoom were like on the outside of their nose, and he was like, oh no, up your nose. And then he made us do it with the other finger and then say the same limiting beliefs in that funny, like, nasally voice. And at this point, you just feel like you're so, like, this whole thing just felt like, it's like your limiting belief, you just felt so stupid. Now you're attaching the silliness and, like, this is, like, the bullshit to it. And then he was like, okay, now take your fingers out of your nose and tell yourself that belief is bullshit. So we all shouted out. And he's like, and now say the new and empowered belief. So I am successful. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I am lovable. I can have any guy that I want. So it was this idea. So he made us do this 7 times over. So we would say the belief in a funny voice, put our fingers up our nose, and then go ahead and call bullshit and then say the empowered belief. Just getting our brains to reprogram. And I'm telling you, by the end, between the release of emotion, the bullshit, the silliness of my fingers up my nose, and, Power Pam, the experience was unbelievable. It was unreal. So I am so grateful for Transformation Day. Like, I feel like I lost like 10 pounds. I feel like this weight was lifted off of my shoulders. It was so flipping amazing. So that was that. I think I just took care of like 4 more bubbles. We talked about that. Talked about modeling. We talked about that. Mothers for ourselves. Let's talk about astitude, because I know that's Mel's new favorite thing. So Joseph McClendon III filled in for Tony Robbins on days 2 and 4, because unfortunately he's got a lot of bad vocal cord stuff going on. So he can't talk for long periods of time. So his friend, person that he actually taught, the same way I went to this event, so did he back 30 years ago, came out, and really cool dude. And he actually went ahead and, he's this 5'9" African-American gentleman. Like he stepped out of like the 80s. Like he's fucking awesome. Funniest guy I think I've ever, I was in stitches. Like he walked out and I was kind of like, oh, there's no Tony. But I'm telling you, changed my whole fucking love him. So he has this concept and it's called astitude. So it's this idea that, yes, if you can get up and you can shake your ass and you can move it, again, that's that idea. There's no way you can be unhappy and there's no way you can go down this pattern of fear and limiting beliefs if you're having that much fun. It's just a matter of changing your state, because that's the big one. You might wake up super tired and like, I don't want to get up and do my morning routine. You might be sitting at work and something bad happened. Your boss yelled at you and now you're just in the state of like embarrassment and anger and like, why would he do that? And you're going to this place. All of these patterns, the only way to get out of it is you got to break the pattern, or you're going to stew on this stuff, and you're going to stew and you're going to stew and you're going to stew until, again, you don't feel good, you're stressed out and your stomach hurts, you're not sleeping, you're, again, and then when you're not sleeping, your immune system drops, and then you get sick, and then you got to feel better, so then you start getting lazy. And do you see how this is like a never-ending vicious cycle? So here comes Astitude. It's this idea of shaking your ass. So we would be like writing in our notebooks like I am now, right? And he would say, put your books down, stand up, and then shake that ass. And it just kept making you like get into these states. So, but again, the principle of the matter was, if you're doing these kind of things, it's just breaking your pattern. So if you start feeling yourself go down that rabbit hole, that negative rabbit hole, that not good, fun one like Alice in Wonderland had, get up and change something. You could do a simple breath work. I mean, as simple as, and this is the one I like, and it was funny because when he actually taught this one at the seminar, I was like, this is what I teach. So you're inhaling up, exhaling down, just that's enough to regenerate because you're oxygenating your bloodstream, you're picking up your arms, it's totally going to sidetrack you from whatever you have going on. Or yes, just as simple, get up and shake your ass. Have a dance party in your living room. Have a good time. You could totally do that, okay? So yeah, so Astitude is a good time. We talked about the Dickens process, balance your body. And the last day was all about vitality, so health and vitality. So eating right, drinking right, sitting right. Hey, Nicole! Doing all these things. Because that's, again, this is where it comes from. Like I said, we talked about like Power Pam, the posture thing before. When you're sitting up and when you're sitting nice and tall, you're going to feel different. I mean, if you're sitting, like think about it. If you're sitting there right now and you put your shoulders down, you're kind of in that sad, depressed state. Hi, Ryan. And it's just this, like nobody feels good like this. Nobody looks good. It just feels like shit. But the second you sit up and you stand up and you are total open heart center, ready to receive, standing up nice and tall, it gives you an immediate confidence boost. You feel differently. And again, this all comes back to the emotions, because if you believe you're confident, you believe you're amazing, you truly will be, right? So, yeah, they brought in a couple of experts, so we talked about posture for a while and all of these different things. They went over food and eating habits, the basics, going more plant-based than anything else. The fact that your body, the percentage of water that you have, so trying to eat 75% more water kind of foods, making sure you're drinking the right amount. And you've heard me tell you this more than once. Take your body weight times it by 0.5, and that is the amount of ounces of water you should truly be drinking a day. If you drink more, fabulous, but it shouldn't be less. So they went through all of these ideas. They showed us all of those crazy videos from, like the awful things they do to cows and chickens at the farms, and I was like, oh my God. So yeah, it was definitely a little bit of a heart wrencher that day. It was kind of sad. But that was what I had. So those are all the things we went over. So from, like I said, the Dickens process to Astitude to my limiting beliefs, the 3 steps to mastering things, all the fun little sayings. Does anybody have any questions on anything that I've talked about so far? Mel says Astitude is the bomb. Feel yourself and feed self-esteem. Yes, absolutely, 110%. I'm a big fan of that. Like I said, the one that he challenged us all to do for the rest of our lives was to walk through doorways like this every time you come through a doorway. I don't know if I'm like, but see, there's a limiting belief telling me I can't do that. I could absolutely walk out of here and do that, but it's just getting myself past the I feel silly thing. So yeah. But no, I am going to stand taller. And like I said, I'm going to truly believe that, yes, I am successful. Yes, money comes to me easily and effortlessly. Yes, I am pretty enough. Yes, I'm worthy of any guy that I desire. Yes, I can have all of these things and not be limited. Like I said, those breakthroughs were fantastic. I am now going to start measuring things. I'm going to set tangible goals. I'm going to say I want to, do certain things, and it's going to fucking happen. Like I said, I'm even working on that right now. Like, I can't make this stuff up. But yeah, no, that's the big one. So, again, balancing the body, all of these things. So does anybody have any questions, anything I've talked about, anything that's coming up for you? If you're kind of hopping in now, you're going to definitely want to go back and watch this from the beginning, because I went over a lot of information. I'm taking today to recap my UPW time with Tony Robbins. Unleash the power within. Again, truly tear apart those limiting beliefs, everything that's holding you back, and step into the new alter ego of you. And like I said, all of these things, like I said, I wanted to do this tonight and not tomorrow, because tomorrow is live Q&A night. It is your chance to literally ask me anything. So I wanted people to have a chance to really digest this in case things were triggered and brought up. So you could actually ask me these questions tomorrow. Because if I tried to do this tomorrow on top of answering random questions and card pulls and things, I just didn't feel I could give the full attention. So I wanted to serve you as best as I could by doing this tonight. So I do thank you for joining me tonight and listening to my experience, because it's only made me a healthier, more knowledgeable, more growth contribution driven version of myself, so I can get you there as well. Okay. But on that note, if nobody has any questions, if you do, like I said, if things come up, let me know. I'm going to make a few announcements. I'm going to go over a couple of things. So we're going to go into like the sales portion here. So welcome aboard. So a couple of things. I had 2 people already ask me if I was going to do that 12 days to fitness challenge. So last year I did a free series for 12 days. I did a video series on Facebook where every day I gave you a new fitness challenge. So fitness, 12 days to fitness, get it? And I brought you all the way up to Christmas Eve. So I started 12 days before and worked you there. And I gave you different things from health, nutrition, yoga, essential oils, you name it, I brought you through it. And I guess people really liked it because, like I said, it's starting to be asked about. So I am going to run that again. I haven't decided if it's going to be 12 days, but I am going to run it again. But this time I'm going to do it a little differently. Rather than the private Facebook groups, I think that's where I lost a lot of people, was getting them in there. I mean, I want them to take the initiative, but I feel like all of this knowledge is so important. And I know a lot of my Graham fam here doesn't even have Facebook, so I want to bring it both ways. So I'm debating either doing the videos and doing it via email style or just doing lives like this. So if you like this lives, if you're interested in this program, totally let me know. Direct message me, drop it in the comments, so this way I can see. Because like I said, I want your response. I want to feel your guidance so I can give you what you want. Okay, so that is something, the 12 Days to Fitness Challenge. I am going to hold a vision boarding workshop. It is either going to be on Sunday, December 6th or Sunday, December 13th. So it'll be at 6:30. It will be in person at Paws in Delray, or it will also be virtually available. And you can either learn how to make the vision board through the computer, which is what I like because I like to save it to my desktop. So I see this picture all the time. I save it to my phone, my lock screen, my home screen. So I see this all the time. So I'm constantly feeling these images. Or again, yes, the old-fashioned vision boards. You're going to have a vision board, magazines, or going to cut out pictures, put everything on there. So that is another option. And again, you can do that virtually or in person. And I will guide you through both ways because it is the same principle. But that will be via Zoom if you're going to do it virtually. So you need to let me know you want in because I have to send you a link. I have to send you a sign-up link. So you need to take the initiative. You want to change, you want something, you know your why. Let's go. Bring it back, okay? So that is that. Black Friday is on Friday. So I am going to run some specials. My regular one-on-one program, that is my 6 weeks to a better you. That is where I cover the 6 pillars of self-care. That is when I dive deep. You get full access to me for 6 weeks, practically 24/7. We meet 1 hour a week. You get unlimited Voxer support, email support, whatever you need. I give you journaling prompts and workbooks and all kinds of things. Generally, that is the lovely lump sum. It is usually $1,997 for this week. So starting on Friday through the end of Cyber Monday, so that's 4 full days. Fuck it. Actually, start from tonight. So you get through now till the end of Monday. So you basically get a week. You can have it at the old price when it was $997, okay? And I do have payment plans available. But you got to message me. You got to let me know you want it because I don't even have a sales page because, like I said, I wasn't even going to launch this till Friday. So if you're hearing this now, this is your opportunity, okay? And then I have a new program that's going to start the beginning of January, and it is going to be all about tantric numerology and the 10 bodies. So very similar to human design, there is the yoga version, and it's called tantric numerology. The whole principle is that your body is made up of 10 layers. So think of an onion. So you've got all these layers. And when you know how you work, when you know how you operate, you're able to make better decisions. You are able to better run your business, your household, be a better parent, be a better friend, be a better significant other. It gives you the skills and the knowledge to be able to do all of these things. It's going to give you clarity and motivation. You're going to learn your strengths, your challenges, your destiny. I'm going to give all of that to you. Okay, so that 12-week program, again, generally for 12 weeks it would be $1,200, but I am going to run it for $599. So now through the end of Monday, so midnight my time, it is going to run. So if that is something you want in, again, I have payment plans available. If you're like, oh my God, that's a lot of money, I have payment plans. Message me. Anybody that wants to do this, I want to make it work for you. But come talk to me. I'm a real person. You've seen me. You know, I swear like a sailor. I say please and thank you like a saint. I'm a very real individual. I am not here to make your life scary. So come talk to me because, again, I want you all to learn and be able to get something out of this. So that is that program. Sundays, I've cut out all of the other classes I was attempting to teach. So the meditations and the Thursdays and the Tuesday nights and all these things. I just was not getting the draw and the excitement, and it honestly was to a point where I wasn't feeling it. And if I'm not feeling it and I'm not excited, how do I expect any of you to be excited, right? It's not fair. So on Sundays at 4 o'clock, I'm holding an in-person Kundalini class, which I know a couple of you out there actually come with me in person over here at Delray Yoga Shala. But I also have the virtual option available as well. So if you don't live here, you're worried about, COVID still, things like that, I totally get it. And again, I can only hold so many people in there, so a lot of people get stuffed into that virtual anyways. But I do have the virtual option. Maybe you're traveling and usually you come see me on Sundays and you're like, oh my God, you could still be there. There are no excuses. Like I said, I'm pulling all of the limiting thoughts, all of your limiting beliefs, all of your excuses. I'm pulling that rug out from under you. The only excuse you have at this point is yourself. So the only thing holding you back, the only thing that's not working is you. So if you want to make yourself a priority, you want to change, you want to have as much fun and excitement as I had doing this other program, the investment into yourself is the best investment you're ever going to make. Because like I told you, you'll go to the ends of the earth for everyone else, but do you give yourself the same support? Do you give yourself the same love? Are you making yourself a priority, or are you telling yourself you can't? Are you limiting yourself? Again, I've got options after options after options. There's no excuse but you. So if any of these programs, any of this is something you want to do, where there's a will, there's a way. We can be resourceful. I can get you there. But you got to reach out to me. Drop me a DM, drop me a comment, send me an email, whatever it takes. Let's do this, okay? So we're going live. I'm going early. I'm not going to tell anyone else till Friday. So if you watch this video and you heard this is your secret. This is your ticket in. So, because I haven't come up with any photos or content or pictures. Like I said, I don't have a landing page. I got nothing. So if you want this and it sounds like something you're interested in, message me, text me, email me, call me. You know where to find me, okay? And I will always get back to you. Again, remember, I made the commitment to myself. I turned off the notifications on my phone. So the only notifications I get are on Voxer or via text message. So I don't get email notifications. I don't get Instagram notifications. I don't get Facebook notifications. So if I don't get back to you in 2 seconds, give me a couple hours because I pop on here every now and then. I promise I will get back to you, but I got tired of jumping every time my phone flashed, every time it rang. It was like I was sucked into this phone. It was like this phone was making me feel important about myself. Like I couldn't do that myself. It was like I had to get back to people. It was like, oh my God, if I don't do this, then I'm going to miss out on... Bullshit. So please just leave me the message and I will get back to you. I promise. And I don't break my promises. So those are the things I've got coming up. And I am going to do one off. I just was reading my own handwriting. I was like, what did I write? The tantric numerology. If you're not sure about it, like I said, I'm happy to go into more detail and explain, which I will because this program is something I want to do. But if you're kind of like, I wonder if this is for real, I wonder if this stuff really matches, I am offering one-off readings. So generally a regular tantric numerology reading, because it is a lot of work, it is a lot of energy, it is a lot of channeling for me. Usually it's $47. I'm going to charge $27. You can get a full reading that you can digest and enjoy. If you want a one-on-one time with me, a half-hour coaching call with me, I'm doing the same package, but it'll be the full $47. You'll get a half hour with me plus the reading, so you can ask me any questions. I can answer them one-on-one with you, so you have some time. And then maybe if that kind of pushes you over the edge to decide if you want to do the full 12 weeks, to get a full immersion so you can understand the 10 bodies in more detail. You can understand your chart. You'll learn, again, how to use it on a personal level, a business level, a familial level. You'll learn how to use it. So again, you're going from cognitive to emotional to the actual physical application. So we're going to get you there. You're going to master. Okay? You will be a master. Okay? Yeah, you will be a Jedi, right? So again, I have all of those options. I'm going to drop them in the comments. If you can't remember what I said, but there was something that interested you, again, just message me. Like I said, I'm a very real person. Sometimes I get excited and it's cool. So that is literally everything I had on my chart. I have kept this under an hour. I've got 4 minutes left. See, goals, measurements, tangible. It works. Proven point. Does anybody have any additional questions, anything coming up? If not, please, if you're around, come back tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It is live Q&A night. It is your chance to literally ask me anything. So if you watch this video, maybe you watch it again, stuff's coming up for you because maybe you've got your own limiting beliefs on your mind. You've got your own challenges. Come talk. Let's ask the questions, because if you're having them, probably somebody else is too. You can ask me silly questions. Again, anything you want to ask. I'm going to bring my cards tomorrow like we did last time, so I can do some channel guidance stuff. I'll have all of my notes and my stuff, and I am here for you. I am here to serve. So don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to let me know. And we'll keep this party rolling. All right? If I don't see you tomorrow, if you don't hop on, if I don't talk to you, if you don't message me, have a good Thanksgiving. And lots of love. Mwah. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Maybe I'm not leaving because I don't know how to make this stop. Shit. Oh, there it is. Bye.